Alright, while I wait for paint to dry and be touchable so I can flip shit and paint shit again, let's do a little quick overview of some things that I've seen so far on this buggy that needs some attention before we rebuild the whole thing. Clearly, we're gonna have some problems with the whole floor. All of these supports on the floor have been pretty much chewed away completely. This one, there used to be a whole bar here, there used to be a bar there. These bottom supports are rotted out from rust. As you can see, the entire floor, there used to be a whole floor panel here, kind of from here all the way over. All of that shit gone, and we're gonna have to replace it. This as well, like you can get your finger into that crack down there. That's really, really, really bad. A lot of the rust on this thing has been pretty negligible so far, but that is not something we can ignore. The rust over here that just resulted in some pitting, we can kind of ignore it because it's just simple pitting, right? But in terms of this, we've got some problems. All the way through the front, the floor pan itself is fine, right? That's fine, and I don't want to mess with it if I don't have to. I will, however, need to cut all of that out. And we might need to remove the whole floor pan in order to get all of that shit off so we can put new tubing in. These areas will need to be corrected. Same thing with over there, down there, and over here. The back end is honestly in some damn good shape, which is again why I was told to not bother. That, I'm sure you've seen. This needs a new CV boot strap. I have spares, I just need to get it on before this gets full of water. But realistically, it's gonna need new grease anyways. I'm not gonna take the diff off. The wheels turn, it's fine. Diff is fine, there might be a bearing shot, just because the axle and the input shaft is kind of fucked. The input shaft is kind of wonky, but we'll deal with it. Deal with it when we get there. We can probably pull the bolts off the front here, check and see if we just need to put in a new bearing. So that'll be all right. Moving on. This is the battery box. Underneath of that is rusted out completely, so we're probably going to need to cut this box off, clean up the pipes underneath, tubes, pipes, whatever, and might just weld that back on when times matter. Give you a closer look on how bad some of these pipes are. This used to be tubing, like actual tubing, like the rest of all of this, right? But I'm assuming, since this is the low spot, this is where water was sitting in it when it was just sitting. So plans for the future means whenever we fix the floor pan, I'm gonna put more holes in the bottom to act as a drain so we don't end up with this problem in the future. Some things I would like to do. I want to extend the front a little bit, just a little bit, to make there be just a little more working room in there. In some of the prior episodes, you might have seen me trying to finagle with that, and it's honestly a pain in the ass. So I would like to cut it off, just, you know, right here, right after the brackets for the steering rack. So just take this and add another inch or two, maybe redesign the front of this. Again, things for the future, not worried about it right now. Here is our lovely Yamaha BigBear 400 2005 donor parts bike. it's got no spark, right? And I'm going through trying to figure out why it's got no spark. Then I realized there ain't no fuse box, which is weird. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a fuse box. There's all sorts of messed up connections in the wiring. I'm genuinely surprised that jumping the solenoid even allowed it to turn the starting motor to begin with. Motor's free. It just needs some electricity and it'll be running. I ordered a whole new wiring harness for don't get at me, but I ordered a wiring harness for Chinese Dune Buggies from eBay that came with quote, all of the parts you need to rewire a Chinese Dune Buggy. Considering that this Chinese Dune Buggy happened to be a Yamaha clone, hopefully the wiring kit that I got works right, but you never know. But it was like $60, shipping included, from Australia or something. So I'll have that in a few weeks and we'll see what we have to do from there. So here actually is the engine that we pulled out. I don't know if I covered this at all, but this engine is a clone of that engine, which I'm sure I've mentioned. But so the things wrong with this are many, right? Whoever previous owners were, because I don't think the guy that I bought the buggy from to begin with, I don't think he did anything to this. He had a junkyard of a backyard, and he had too many projects going on, and I don't believe that he had anything to do with this while it was sitting in his yard. Somebody at some point decided it would be a brilliant idea just to cut the wires. Yeah, they just cut wires off of this for who knows what reason, but who knows what any of these wires are for anymore. And I'm sure this engine, you know, with the proper care, could run again. I guarantee you this engine could in fact run again. You know, it does turn over manually, but it will turn. There was oil in it when we last checked, and there still is oil in it. Not very much, but there is oil. There was or is oil. And the gears even still work in the transmission. So I'm wanting to bet this would run if somebody put the time and effort into it. But I'm stupid and don't have money to do shit like that, right? Yeah. Is that my assistant? Ruby. Hey. What are you doing? Ruby. Hi. This is Ruby. This is my assistant. This is my dad's dog. She wanders around over here. And that's Bella. She old. That's my old puppy. That's my new puppy. Run, Rubles. What are you doing? Look at you. Look at you. That's my dog. All right. I'm from the future. A day later after I recorded the content for this episode. But I'm going to flip back around real quick and talk about some things that are going to happen with this project. I don't know what this part is called. If anybody knows what this part is called, please let me know. This takes the input from the steering wheel into either here or here, and I don't know what it does. It helps steer. This helps steer, but it does have a rack over here. I do have a steering rack that, like your regular, ignore those, rack and pinion here. So I don't know what that part is. I know what this is. I'm probably gonna replace that part. It's kind of shitty. The future of this project is getting to the point where it's gonna be mostly mechanical, and I'll be needing help from my dad or other people to get some of this stuff sorted, because I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to some of this. So yeah, so the front end, we got to replace the ball joints on those arms because they are shot. All right, that says it is what it is. Ruby is joining me today, but there's no more painting. There will be no more painting in the videos just because it's pretty much done and getting redundant. There's a couple things that we need to take care of, and let's get talking about some of those. One big thing is that there's going to be no more painting in the videos unless it's deemed necessary. Basically, the whole thing has been painted. Anything left is going to be redundant and second coat and what have you, so we're not going to deal with recording any of that, just to let you know. The front arms will be taken care of. I'm going to have to replace the ball joints. Otherwise, they're fine. Everything other than the ball joints on here are fine. I might need to replace the steering rack. And by might, I mean I probably will, because it's just in bad shape. The boots are bad, and I'm wanting to bet it got rusty. It still works, but it's kind of crappy. The shocks for the front and rear end are in some bad shape. I need some new bushings. But otherwise, they actually are still solid. I'm not going to worry about them. They might get a coat of black paint, but otherwise these are fine. They just need new bushings. Gas tank is getting worked on slowly. I will need to clean up my fenders and my oil cooler and get everything kind of sorted. So my next major steps will likely be cutting out the whole floor pan and getting the rusted bars pulled off. And then I'm also going to be manufacturing another plate for that side, because I've got one here, there needs to be another here, and there's a grate that's supposed to go on the back that will get sorted. I'm going to cut the battery box off, clean up the rust under there, and move on. And I need new pedals. I need a new shift lever. I think that's going to get cleaned up. But yeah, it's pretty much kind of where we're at. So we're getting to the point where it's gonna just be engine work, and I'm excited for that. The major things have been mostly taken care of. The next, when I say major, I mean getting rid of the paint, rust, etc. And then we're gonna go in, fix the frame where it needs to be fixed. I'll have to learn welding for that, but it kind of is what it is. And yeah, I'm just gonna reassemble it. We're gonna reassemble and then plan the work that we need to do for the frame and stuff like that. So if you're enjoying, let me know by liking the video or commenting anything. If you have any advice for me, please drop anything. I am open to all and any suggestions. And if you have any parts recommendations that I could use for some of the things you've seen, please let me know. Including like a new steering wheel, whatever this is. I don't know what this is. This connected the steering to the rack and pinion somehow, I don't know. And some shocks. If you have any recommendations for shocks, please let me know. I know they're expensive, so they might take me some time. To get, so we might be using those old ones for a while. So yeah, just let me know. Thanks for watching.